I'm gonna say yes. Yes, there has. And we all know the worst episode we ever did. But I will not talk about that tonight. Tonight we will be talking with old school OG, one of the originals. But first, we're talking to Dr. James Earl Corley. How you doing, brother?
Allegedly a doctor. How are you?
Allegedly a doctor. Never wears his
Not sure we've
scrubs.
had any proof of that yet.
Never wore your scrubs. Never did the show live from the emergency room. But speaking of emergency room, somebody who's been on Naked and Afraid, Amazing Race season 3, back when he was just like half a sperm cell. Um, that was 21 years ago. But now currently kicking ass and is going to win the Buddy Games on CBS. Andrew Shayde. How
What
are
is
you?
going on?
You're like OG amazing.
You are
Race.
serious
Oh,
OG.
yeah.
Like back when they were like interviewing people on CBS when you got eliminated and doing
Yep.
TV and all sorts of interviews, right?
The good old days. Yep. Rosie O'Donnell interviewed all the teams from seasons 1 and 2, I believe. I was season 3. That's right, when she handed her show over to Caroline Ray. So I got to go there. I was interviewed, go to New York, go to NBC, blah, blah, blah. But I missed Rosie O'Donnell because that was like a huge talk show at the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
And she was giving the racers like new cars and stuff.
She was a
because
big
she's
fan, so
amazing
she
racer.
would take care of them, yeah.
Yeah. So I missed that. But so I got to do a couple shows. It's fun.
That's all right. Well, you know who is like pretty awesome? Samantha Holmes. I just wanted to let her know that she's awesome. She sent a little heart sticker, threw down a couple dollars, and said, "Hey there, what do you say there?" Well, tonight we're going to be talking about Amazing Race, season 35, episode 5, of course. But first, we're going to get into some fun stuff with Andrew. Andrew, watching newer seasons, your older seasons, like, it's very different. Like your season still had fast forwards every leg. I mean, you guys had so much. They were just testing stuff on you guys. What was the worst parts or best parts about being part of the originals?
I feel like we didn't know what was going on. One interesting thing is, at least for my dad and I, we had seen like 2 episodes ever, and then we're on it because back then you couldn't like.
There was only like 24 ever, and like that was before VCRs, right? You're on
exactly.
like.
Yeah, well,
well, they have VCRs,
but
but who's
there was
taping
no
it?
streaming. Yeah, no streaming. So if you didn't see it on TV, you didn't watch it. So I couldn't be like, oh, we're in the casting process. I'm gonna study. I'm gonna go back and watch past seasons.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that. So we had seen, I don't know, by the time we actually started the race, probably 3 or 4 episodes. So we felt like we really don't know what to expect.
Well, in all fairness, there's only like 24 episodes at that point. So you saw a good chunk of them.
That's a good point.
Now to watch.
Very good point. Also, yeah, our race had a fast forward on every leg. We won one on our final leg. We're the first team to win a fast forward and still be eliminated because that's how far behind we were.
I was gonna say, you hold a record. I don't know if you know to hold this record or not.
Yep. It's a sad record. But yeah, it also made it harder to know where people were because if you didn't know who was going for that fast forward, whoever was in the back could be in the front now. I felt like it was a little bit more confusing to establish where people were, who was ahead of you.
Okay, just in case you don't know what young Andrew looked like, I'm gonna pop a picture on the screen now.
He almost looks like a completely different person.
Completely different. Yeah.
I want you to know someone in chat said from twink to daddy.
Hey, I'll take that. Yeah, that's like an 80-pound difference or something from back then. I was in college at the time.
Like now you got chest muscles. You got a jawline that's like sharp as hell now. You got a little beard going. Look at you. This is before like you got a beard to grow in. I bet you never had a beard before.
Not back then. No. I grew up.
I want you to know he has a side by side of you right now. I'm watching on the YouTube to look at comments. There's literally a side by side of like you on the race.
So you ran with your dad, right? Which okay, so you are one of the first straight gay teams to ever compete on reality television with Aaron and Annie and Ken and Gerard, right?
Yeah. Our season actually had 3 LGBT people, 3 guys, but we're all on separate teams. So that was even a big deal back then when LGBT representation wasn't as big. there'd ever, every once in a while there'd be like one token person on a season of Survivor or whatever. But so I remember being in casting thinking, clearly that guy over there is gay, Ken, and that guy over there is gay, Aaron. I was like, surely they're not picking all three of us, because I knew there'd be one token spot. But then we got to the starting line. I'm like, well, look at that. That's pretty cool.
They've always done really well about diversity within the cast, though.
Yeah, I'd say better than most shows.
Skip and Reichen, which was season 4, it's been a minute. I think they're season 4. They referred to them as married, and you have to remember this was back in like 2004, 2005, when that was a controversial thing to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they literally refer to them as like the married, like they're a married couple. So that's one thing they have always done well, in my opinion, is they've always been a little forefront. I think that's the Dutchman in Bertram.
Yeah.
Bertram, we all know him. We've all met him. For everyone that's watching, Bertram is one of the most interesting people to talk to.
Oh my God, yeah.
Cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about somebody who's got a story for everything.
Yep. Right after I did the race, I got to speak at like New York City Pride. I was the MC of like Cincinnati Pride and these silly things after doing the race. And I remember I was texting Bert and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this thing." And he texted back. I'll never forget this one text. He said, "Yay, go gay!" Exclamation mark.
Go gay.
Go gay.
I love Bertram.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so let's do a couple more of them. All right, Dan and Andrew are the first father-son team on the race.
Dennis and Andrew. Yep, first.
Oh, sorry, did I say Dan and Andrew? Dennis and Andrew.
Yep, first team from Kentucky. It's easy to have a lot of firsts when you're on an early season. Yeah.
First all-male team to be eliminated without winning a leg.
Oh.
First team to be eliminated. First team to be eliminated despite using a fast forward.
Yeah, that's our big one.
I think that that still might be the case.
It's Mark. It happened to Mark and Bopper.
Oh yeah, Mark and Bopper. Yeah,
15 seasons later.
Kentucky,
which is funny because they're also from Kentucky, so I call it the Kentucky curse.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Both
all the future Kentucky racers out there, avoid fast forwards.
Yes, just don't even try to take it. Just don't even try.
Oh, you know who gets the fast forward every single week around here? Ray Fletcher. He drops fast forwards every week. He's always like, there's other people that like try to get to the board, but then he just like overreaches them before and drops that 20 banger and rips that fast forward every week and just goes right to the front of the line. My man. All right, so let's talk about Naked and Afraid. Are you really naked the whole time? And are you afraid?
Both of those things, completely naked and completely afraid. Amazing Race was 2002, and Naked and Afraid, my first time. I've done it 3 times now, twice in Africa, once in the Pearl Islands off Panama, and that was 18 years later. So I feel like people are like, oh my gosh, all Andrew does is apply for reality shows. I'm like, hey, there was an 18-year gap between Amazing Race and my first Naked and Afraid. So, and then Buddy Games, that's just been a fluke. I never in a million years thought that would happen. I was drinking wine on my couch, scrolling on Twitter, and I saw this post like, "Do you and your friends want to have the adventure of a lifetime?" And I was wine drunk, and I was like, well, "I do." And I clicked it, and it was like, just fill in this one little paragraph about your friendship. And I typed 3 little sentences about me and some friends, and it's kind of my closest friends. And they called me like a day later. I get a phone call. My cell phone says Los Angeles. I'm like,
take it, man. Take advantage of every opportunity, man. Hell yeah.
Take every adventure you can. It is kind of addictive too. You get out there, you have this wild adventure.
It really is.
Why
you want to do it?
Like seriously, who doesn't want to be on TV? The only people that have a problem with it are the people who want to be on TV that never got a chance, and they see other people thinking like, "Oh, they took my chance." Meanwhile, they never applied to be on any show, but you took my chance because you're on 3 times. Like,
see, Justin, for me, I don't think it's necessarily like the TV part; it's the experience.
The experience is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Me too. For me, it's all about like when I'm 90 years old and I'm in a retirement center and I'm just like sitting around talking with the old people around me. I want to be like, guess what I did one time? I raced around the world for $1 million. You know what else I did? I got butt-ass naked 3 times on 2 different continents and lived in the wild. You know what else I did? I took 3 of my friends to this crazy lodge and competed for $200,000. So I'm trying to just pile up these big goofy stories that I can tell the rest of my life.
Why not? Yeah, do it. Go for it. Let's see you. Go through the challenge next. Show them what we're talking about. Let's go.
That's what everybody from Buddy Games in our little cast text group is like, Do you think we're going to be eligible for the challenge now because it's under the Paramount CBS umbrella?
They dropped Love Island, so if what they should do is drop the vets, like put them back on the actual challenge, the original show, drop the vets and bring in buddy games. I think it'd be fun.
I think that might happen. I don't think
or Tough as Nails if you guys are not, depending on, I don't know, are you guys going to be around? How many seasons you get renewed? Like I don't know.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, Tough as Nails, what, they're up to season like 5 or something. Buddy Games has casting going on right now, so I assume season 2 is happening, but it's not confirmed.
Well, we'll see how big this finale goes.
Yeah. I think the ratings have been good for a new show. I mean, it's up there. It's not far behind The Race and Big Brother, despite having no built-in fan base because it's brand freaking new.
Yeah. Well, all you got is a cute host who, like, mommies do love him. He does. Mm-hmm. He does got the mommies that love him.
Josh Duhamel's enraging because in person he's even hotter, and it's like, oh, come on, you jerk. Yeah. I said that to him. Yeah, I said that to him our first day of filming. I was like, oh, you just make me sick or something.
All right, so tell us, if for anybody who hasn't watched, quick breakdown and where are we in the season right now? Because there's something very important coming up this week.
Yep. So Buddy Games is a competition. Friend groups competing against other long-term friend groups. So you're teams of 4. These are my 3 friends that I've known for 15 years. Cute dinosaurs. And slowly teams, if your team loses a particular challenge, you have to kick out one of your own friends, and your team drops down to 3 members. Now, if you lose that challenge again, your entire team is wiped out. So now we only have 1 episode left. The finale is this Thursday night, CBS, 8 p.m. Eastern. And there's only 3 teams left. 2 of us are complete. We're still at 4. My team and my closest allies, Chicago's Finest, which is a bunch of cops from Chicago. And there is 1 team of 3, and that's Team Oklahoma or Team OK. There's some Cowboys from Oklahoma. And so one of the 3 of us is taking home the money.
So you got a 1 in 3 chance to win the cash. How much cash are you going to win if you win?
$200,000.
Let's do it.
You know, it's not $1 million like The Race, but it's a new show. I'm sure if there's Buddy Games season 2, it'll double.
Hey, listen, second place on The Amazing Race is $25,000, so I'm sure that it's, you get more than that at least.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the race. I know that you've been bombarded with a lot of shows to watch. You're not all caught up on the race, but we could put you in the situations. You're a former racer. How would you deal with them today, knowing the things that you know? We could definitely get into that, so let's do it. All right, this leg is another interesting leg. It's called Yes, Sir, The Pink City, episode 401.
I loved this leg, for the record.
Tell me why. Go for it.
Was such a freaking good episode.
Wow.
From start to finish, especially the drama at the end when it's like that neck to neck. They're passing, they're going.
And that was real.
People are passing each other left and right. There's a lot of changes in placements. I think it was a well-designed leg that even if you fell to the back of the pack, you still had time to come up above it in the challenge. It was just an overall great leg.
I think so as well. And one thing that I didn't get to before we get to this, Buddy Games, all the teams could be Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother. They could do that cross thing too as well and get buddies that way from the race. I mean, there'd be so many fun. How many teams start on Buddy Games?
Yeah, 6 teams of 4, so 24 people total in the cast. And we're down to just 11 of us.
All right.
The finale. Yep.
So we got to get 6 reality shows competing head to head. The Challenge versus Buddy Games Vets versus Amazing Race versus Big Brother versus Survivor. Yeah, let's make it happen.
The challenge should start that way. 5 teams. Big Brother, Amazing Race, Survivor, Buddy Games.
There you go. Let's do it.
Nails or whoever. Just a CBS knockdown brawl.
Well, I 100% know that at least 2 of the producers watch this show. So,
pick me. Bring in a Buddy Games. As the mastermind of Buddy Games, if you're watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Get it. He's representing for, all right. So, the way that the last episode ended, the editing made it seem like it was so close, but it wasn't the editing, because look at the time differences. 10 teams left and 36 minutes separated first from last with 10 teams in the middle. The first 4 teams were separated by 1 minute each. And then there was like another three people who were separated by a minute each. So Those things that you see, the races going to the mat, did not have to be fabricated or edited. Those were real going to the mat. So really, really tight race, which is cool because this was a bunch point leg. And if you're going to get bunch point, why not get bunch point when you're only 36 minutes separating first from last? So I don't really feel it sucks when you get like a 5-hour lead and then bunch point. But
when I was eliminated in Scotland,
you guys wish for bunch point.
Yeah, when I was eliminated in Scotland, also the first team ever eliminated in Scotland, we were so far behind that like teams were getting ready to start the next leg, like when we were getting there.
Holy moly.
12 hours later. Yes. And so I always wondered, like, is it worse to be that far behind that you're just like, F it, or be eliminated by like 1 minute? And the rest of your life, you're going to know, like, I lost this by 1 minute. You know?
So, Andrew, I can tell you what's bad because I was eliminated. So we started the lead an hour behind everyone else. And we lost by 4.
Oh, yeah.
We literally, like, one team was 6 minutes ahead of us. One team was 4 minutes ahead of us. And then we were there.
Yeah.
It's I want you to know that one's rough, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I said keep the meter running, I would have won $1 million. But what are you going to do? Yeah. All right. What they didn't show you was a 4-hour cab ride to get to the airport. 4 hours in a cab is tough. Because this is 4 people in a cab now. You got to remember, there's 4 people, and this is a cabs in these little cabs. So you're scrunched up, and if you're a tall team like 6'7" and 5'11", like one of the teams with 2 sound, somebody with a camera, somebody with sound equipment, backpacks, like 4 hours in a cab is not a fun ride.
I had about a 10-hour cab ride on the race.
Oh God.
10 hours. Yeah.
That's brutal.
10-hour cab ride. How much was a 10-hour cab?
Well, we had won a Fast Forward, and as part of that reward, we got to ride in a chauffeur-driven limo with champagne. And the limo we did start in that, and it was great. We rode in that for a little while. I got a little champagne drunk. But then they actually switched us to a cab and drove us the entire length of England and most of Scotland in this little cab.
Should we just put you in the limousine for some photos and then throw you in a little
100%,
cab?
100%. Yes, the limo was for a photo op. That's just about it.
Oh, that's great. All right, so we got a bunch point. Everybody's on the same flight. But the cool thing about a bunch point, it also leads to foot races. To cabs, and there was plenty of them waiting, so there wasn't really any drama there. But I like watching a foot race out of the airport. All the teams are just like chugging along, seeing the teams that really care, and then the other ones that like, oh, we ain't got to run. Like, okay, keep thinking that way. So teams seem to all kind of be in a good mood, joking, playing with each other. They are a little bit talking about this U-turn, and I'm wondering if that's why everybody's trying to be so friendly. So if you're not watching the season, there's a next episode. There's going to be a must-vote U-turn where teams in secret, yeah.
Are they trying to be friendly though? Because they are not helping each other out. They're not being subtle. Like teams are like, "Is it this way?" Just like stare at them, down, and be like.
There's a couple there. There's a couple that are definitely in it to win it, and then there's a couple.
Right, Justin, I gotta say though, I worry about you now. If you ever go back on the race, you gotta be nicer to people.
Oh, for the must vote?
You know what the U-turn is. You gotta be nicer to people, Justin. I worry for you.
I totally understand that, but here's cocky Justin. I don't think there's any U-turn that I couldn't have come back from.
I just think of a couple legs you would have been screwed on.
There's no legs we were far enough behind anyone to get beat. Well, except
like 11 you were.
Well, like 11. If they're gonna have a fucking U-turn on leg 11, then damn, that's gangster for them to put a U-turn on leg 11.
Justin, you got to be nicer to people.
You're right. I wasn't mean to people, by the way. That was set up by the damn Texas boys. Who was I mean to?
This is someone who loves you.
All right, who was I mean to? Tell me one person.
Justin, I liked you on the race, and I thought you were an asshole.
Why? You thought I was cocky, and I wasn't. I was just living a dream, happy as a kid in a candy shop, living my dream.
You do your race, Justin.
Well, we're going to do season 27 next, so we'll get into all this shit, all right? I'm tired of all you busting my balls. After this season, we're doing 27.
Justin, busting your balls. I helped you and multiple times when no one else would.
And then you gave my information I gave you to everybody else.
No.
We'll talk about that. The drama on the season 27 recap. Tease, right?
Who? No. We're gonna talk about this now. Who found that information, Justin?
What? I don't know what information you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Information you were just citing.
Which one?
The shit you were just stirring up.
Oh, because we're both looking and you were the one that would happen to type stuff in? Is that what you're saying? Get out of here.
See, you won't answer the question because you know the answer.
Yeah, you were the one that put it into the computer. You were the one that put it into the computer. But
you hear this half-assed answer? This is why you're trying to get U-turns.
This is why you gotta beat me to the U-turn, boy, which nobody did in 3 tries.
But that doesn't matter anymore, Justin.
You're right. They're making that's bullshit. I don't like it one bit. So everybody has to vote. How do you feel about that? As opposed to earning the right to get a U-turn another team, it's now it's become a social game. How do you feel about that, Andrew?
I love it.
You probably love it because you're fucking great social game. Yeah.
That's my skill set is people in general. It's helped me tremendously in buddy games. One of my confessionals on buddy games, I was talking about the other players, and I just felt like they were just like, literally they're just like, well, we're just making friends. We just want to have fun together. And I was like, aww. And I said in my confessional, I said, they're making friends and that's cute, but I'm making an army. And I moved around that lodge knowing that I had an army of people behind me watching my back. And it sure helped. I'm basically undefeated going into the finale. Like I'm play probably the most perfect, almost the most perfect game you can. And
let's go. Oh my God. I hope you finish it.
You do have some reality experience. That helps a lot.
I hope you finish it. I hope you finish this.
Yeah, Amazing Race doesn't really, at least up on season 3, didn't really have that social component as much. It didn't weigh in so much, unless, someone else is going to help you in a roadblock or whatever. But I looked at buddy games as like, okay, this is like Big Brother Survivor, and that's how I'm going to play it. And we've taken out teams that are way bigger, stronger, and more physical than us, and they all went home. So
get it.
See, we had cocky Justin, now we have cocky Andrew.
There we go. Listen, it's not cocky if you're backing up the things you're saying. That's confidence. Cocky is overplaying your hand, thinking you have some skill or ability that you don't. Whereas confidence is talking about the skills that you have and confidently telling you what's about to happen or what the mindset that a winner has when they go into a race. Like, sorry. If you're just trying to hang around to the last leg to win the whole thing, the odds are you're not going to win. So,
I'm going to make a note. I'm going to do something for next week.
I hate you. Go for it. Go ahead and do your stat blocks. We'll see how that works. All right.
Well, I'm going to see how many times the team with the best average makes it to the finale, and the team that has the best average in the finale actually wins.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
See if that matters.
There's like 2. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the 36 minutes separates the team. Bunch point. Jump to a foot race to a bunch of cabs that are waiting. Teams must make their way to the airport. We got that. Get to the Amber Palace. All right. So teams are all in a good mood. Morgan and Lena like Indian food. Don't think that's going to help unless there's an eating challenge. Whoa. Lots of elephants seem to be distracting teams. Long foothill. Long foot race uphill with all of the teams side by side. I love that to start a bunch point race. Because you got every team going side by side, and you could see the teams that actually put the training in before the race. Because if you can't just go up a damn hill, I don't care if it's a half a mile, if you haven't trained to be able to go up a damn half-mile hill without breaking out your back, then you haven't trained hard enough. This should be the easiest first training session everybody does, walking uphill, carrying stuff.
No, that's what I told my buddy games teammates. I was like, look, we don't know what we're getting into. This is season 1. It's like being, Richard Hatch on Survivor. You really don't know what the heck you're signing up for until you actually get there. But I did tell him, look, you're not going to, in the 2 months that we went through casting, you're not going to be able to just like all of a sudden bench press 320. But you can get out on the sidewalk and start jogging every single day, get your endurance up. Because you can make a big difference in your endurance ability really quickly.
James Earl knows the first thing we did was an endurance challenge, and he quickly showed everybody that endurance meant everything.
I'm little, but I got a lot of endurance.
Yeah, he was pumping, man. And Mama D was not any help, so he was pumping.
We were last to that, and we finished second, and I almost overtook Justin.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Diana switched for like 20 seconds and then turned around and saw James Jones. She was like, no, get back on. I was like, Jesus, I don't get a break, whatever. All right, so anyway, let's get into this more.
Listen, it's why I would do so well in Survivor. My little stubborn ass, I will like push through some pain.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you on something. All right, so long race uphill. Love to see it. This rewards teams that actually train for the race. Everybody by the top of the hill ends up walking, so there's no jogging. Some teams carried it by themselves. Some did. They had to carry this long sugar cane. Did 2x2 on shoulders. Some teams it was a big deal. Other teams it didn't really seem to matter. All right, let's get to the first roadblock. It's a pretty simple roadblock. You have to. You're pretty simple. No, it's pretty simple to explain. You have to put these three things on your head, balance them. They're like these pots. And while you're balancing these, you have to do this little dance routine. And you make it through the dance routine without the pots falling, then you get your clue. It seemed like the pots falling were the major thing. The dance routine wasn't really.
And you really didn't have to do the dance routine with the dancers. Like a lot of people were real off when they got the clue.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, as much as Steve and Annalie crushed this race, this leg as well, like she was just barely moving. She's
yeah, it's real lenient as long as you did the moves kind of and didn't let the things fall off your head.
Yeah, and I think that was the big thing. Don't let it fall. Balance challenges. I know, James, you're good at them. How are you at balance challenges, Andrew?
Crush this challenge, Justin.
I know you would have. You would have crushed this.
Yeah, that I'm pretty comfortable with. I was a nationally competitive cheerleader for 14 years. So choreography, balance, but I was with my dad, and my dad he doesn't have zero rhythm. He has negative rhythm, like the opposite of rhythm. So if we had to do any kind of choreography, I would have just sat down, like, just forget it. My dad will never in a million years get this.
See, mine comes from band. I marched band all the way through college. Yeah. So I got used to having to like produce the sound from your instrument and keep your upper body normal while moving your lower body, like during togs, during marching, high step, all of it. Yeah. So I could have knocked that challenge out.
I got an egghead, so I already have a disadvantage because it's not going to be easy to balance. And then I got a long neck, so my damn neck is like.
It's one of the times we were suggesting to Diana was the challenge of balancing shit on your head and walking.
You walked right past me. I was like, damn it.
We just zipped right by.
I would definitely think people with hair would have an advantage, don't you? That it would kind of hold it in place a little better than a bald head?
Yeah, especially like a nice fluffy head of hair. If you got a big, nice head of fluffy hair, I don't got nothing.
Yeah. Tell that to Corey. Corey just would not say the same.
Yeah, it didn't help him at all.
He has a fluffy head of hair and didn't help him too much.
No, it did not.
I will say I have some thoughts from a racing standpoint, a couple of things. At one point in time, there's a couple of things I liked and a couple of things I didn't like. And Todd, who's Todd's partner? Todd and
Ashley.
Ashley, I was right. Todd and Ashley. At one point in time, Todd pointed out something that I very strongly agree with. When it is a performance challenge, just get in line and keep performing it. And if you want to practice, just sit there when you're in line and watch them do it and sit there and just do the movements while you're standing on the side, because you're not going to get the clue in the practice station. Like you're not going to get past in the practice station. So like learn the basics and get in there and do it. I did the same thing with that Argentina dance when we were in Argentina.
Yeah.
Like learn the basics, just get in line and perform it because you're not going to get the clue otherwise. And you know, I said the same thing with Rob and Corey. Corey, I think he was the only team there and he left it to go back and practice some more. Just keep doing the routine until you nail it. And and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like they'll give you the clue when it's not 100% perfect, but if you're not performing it, you're not going to get the clue.
Yeah. And I love when the episode was like, the judge did. No. He was a great judge. The mustache, big old mustache.
He was great.
Come on, he was an awesome judge.
But those performance ones, just keep trying it.
The judges.
If you're the only team there, if you were the only team there and there is not a line, there is no reason your little tail should not be on that stage. Just like, run it again. Nope, run it again. Nope, run it again.
I feel like it also is in your advantage to, one, keep a positive mental attitude, obviously. But if you're smiling, having fun with it, I think you can add a little bit of leverage to whoever's judging, whoever the local is who's saying yes or no. I think if you're nice, smile with them, and you're not getting frustrated and focused, I think you can kind of woo them and he'll pass you.
Well, it's the producers that are judging it, but they want a performance, right? So if you're like performing into it, they're going to be a little more lenient than if you're just like stomping around, like trying to do something.
All right, so here's the other thing. Would you practice with the pots on your head, or would you practice without the pots on your head, learn the moves, and then learn the balance?
I would have learned the moves in the practice station quickly and then gone into line and just practice with the line, like practice
With the pots on your head or no?
I would, in the section, no, I probably in the section, I would have put it on to learn how to walk in that circle, but I would have learned the hand movements by themselves, learned how to walk with the pot on my head, and then go perform and just keep performing and was still done.
What do you think, Andrew? Do you have a strategy for stuff like that?
I don't know. I like practicing the line for sure. I mean, I think it just depends on the two of you. Like, I could do that because I learned choreography quickly. I feel like if I was with my dad, we'd have to like pull off to the side, be really focused.
Yeah, I mean, your dad was what, in his 60s? How old? 50s when he ran?
Was mid 50s at the time. Yeah.
And Mama was 60?
Mom was 52.
52?
My mom was 52 when we
52. So yeah, I mean, you guys can have a similar story. I mean, you guys were both younger, and your moms were older on the race, and definitely had to deal with the things that come along with it. So John was a break dancer, and it seemed to help because he nailed it as soon as he put the right amount of baskets on his head. Anna Lee goes two-stepping, and Anna Lee crushed this roadblock as she's been crushing literally everything.
I want to throw a little statement out there that may be controversial.
Go ahead.
For this season, I think Anna Lee is the strongest individual racer.
I wouldn't argue that. I wouldn't argue against that. Yeah, she's crushing it.
People online really are hating on her. I think individually, she's one of the strongest racers on this season.
She's a good-looking, confident woman who, one, that's going to piss people off just because you're good-looking and confident, but she's also backing it up. So she's not just the pageant girl. She's like the girl that would go frog jumping and the girl that's just crushing every task she's given.
Yeah. Like, if we were ever like randomly put with people racing, I would love to be her partner.
I mean, what can you say negative about it? She doesn't want to pick up squiggly fish is the only thing. They're squiggly. She's adorable. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a partner. She's been crushing every task she's gotten. But we don't know how she would act if you're not her dad. Like, she could be hell on wheels if you're like a significant other, or if you're somebody she doesn't respect.
Totally fair.
Because you could tell she still talks like snippy with her dad, and she respects him. So if she,
but I think it's why it works. You know what I've said about parent-child teams? If you have to get rid of that parent-child dynamic, and they are, and it's working.
Were you freaked out by Jeremy and his serial killer smile?
Yes, 100%. Like, never do that again, sir.
So he's trying to learn the dance moves, balance, and then it's like he's unconfident, and then they're like smile. He's like, it's like taking a shit, but he's also gonna kill you with the knife behind his back. All right, so Morgan and Chelsea do a good job, solid. The Franklin Alliance is forming. How do we feel about this Franklin Alliance? The sisters and the brothers, both with the last name Franklin, forming an alliance.
Remind me which sisters and brothers that are. I know it's more than Elena. Who are the brothers? Is he Aaron?
Greg and John.
Greg and John. All right. I'm not entirely sure Morgan and Elena are long for this world, so Greg and John may need to find some other partners.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much help. Like, you can only help the teams in the back, but so much. Alliances, they weren't really a thing during season 3, huh?
Not so much. No, we had season 1 and 2. Both winning teams were 2 alpha male teams, both young, strong men.
Yeah.
So come season 3, everyone kept talking, no, we are not going to let 2 strong men win again.
I got that.
So everybody was out for these 2 identical twins, Derek and Drew. They were Abercrombie models.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, oh, let's get them out of here. Let's get them out of here. But there weren't U-turns yet, so that's kind of harder to do but other teams were working together with the sole purpose of trying to kill the twins.
All right, I got 4 questions back to back, rapid fire. Somebody's got to go. How well does Andrew know Alex Menard, a fellow Naked and Afraid and Tar crossover contestant?
Yeah, we're the 2 weirdos who have both done Amazing Race, and he's he's done Naked and Afraid twice. I've done it 3 times. Pretty good. We text fairly often.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've done a camping trip together. He's a trip, so it's nice to have someone that's done both very unique circumstances to talk about that with.
Have you visited any of the Tar 3 locations since your season ended?
Cozumel, Scotland, England, Mexico. If we're talking countries in general, yes, almost all of them.
Wow.
The exact location, no.
I got you. That's pretty cool. All right. Give me your best Heather and Eve or Terry and Ian story.
Oh gosh, I love Heather and Eve off the race. On the race, I did not like them. They're completely different in real life. They're funny and cool and chill.
Terry, I have no idea what that means, or any idea what that's like. Let me put that out there. What I Justin?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty much the same as it was on the race. I'm just a lovable, huggable America's
We're going to start that season 27 recap, Justin.
Lovable, huggable America's sweetheart.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Andrew.
No. Yeah, no, and Terry and Ian, they're fun. They're a fun.
Come on, nothing fun that we can't talk about.
When they came back for All Stars, I was shocked. I was like, man, good for them. They got brought back. So
here we go. All right, when you freaked out. So Jeremy Alliance, after 15 tries, Rob and Corey now fall to the back of the pack for the first time in the race. Let's see how they're gonna handle it. This could be what crushes the team. One bad roadblock could crush a team, but there's 10 teams, so that is something that's helping a really strong team.
Real quick, Justin, did you see Louis' comment? Joe and Ian told him that Annalie bought a travel guide about Thailand, offered to let the other teams look at it for a price, and then she returned the book. That is
love her. Oh my God, that is beautiful. She made money off the other teams and then returned the book and got her money back. That's like a super fan move outside of the episode. That's super fan. That's like I'm draining your resources.
That's like a swindler, and I fucking love it.
And adding to my own resources. That helps you on the race. Like, I ran out of money 3 separate times on the race. And it's
Did anyone help you out with that, though?
Huh?
Did anyone ever help you out with that?
With what? Lending me money?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's why we were able to survive.
What team was that?
There was 2 cab drivers, and then some team that I don't know. They weren't around long enough to really learn. I'm just joking.
they're around to lead 10. I can tell you that much.
No, we appreciate. I always thank you. I'm sure even there's extra clips of me thanking you.
I'm just giving you shit because of all the stuff you talked earlier this episode about.
Oh, it wasn't like we had an alliance, because obviously you would have voted my ass out as soon as you could. All right, but
you blame me, Justin. We'll say that for another season.
Yes.
We'll say that for another day.
Yes, we're stoking the fires for the next season. All right, so there was a really cool spot that they had a damn clue box. I thought this would be a super location for
the steps.
Yeah, the steps with the route
so
info.
Cool.
I think this would have been awesome. Like a nice little something. Go and count the number of steps, or go down and measure water and bring it back up. Like, this is what it's used for, to get water. So go back up and do like a math problem with water and bed balancing. I don't know. I just thought this would be like a cool little route info, but it's such a beautiful location. I don't know. I love when they do.
It was super cool. I loved it. The shot was great too that they got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're good at this. Robin and Chelsea didn't help Todd and Ashley, and then there was U-turn talk. So, is this the time that you want to help teams? Because you know the U-turn's coming up, or are you just saying, I'm running my race, I don't care about U-turns?
You know my thoughts on this. I think when a team is going to find, when they're this close to it, they're going to find it. You're not fighting for last. You're at the front of the pack, being like, it's right around the corner there. Just keep going. When they're heading in that right direction, all that does is help you out. Because later, if you're super struggling, you can go to them and be like, what is happening right now? What am I doing wrong? And most of the time, they'll help you out. Because they'll remember, oh, he told me it was right there and he helped me out. In reality, did you really help them? No. You just like reassure them, yes, you're going in the right direction.
Right. How do you feel about that, Andrew? You all about you helping some teams, or no?
Yes, for sure. I feel like it's a game.
I mean, you guys have good social games. I didn't, so that's why I have to ask.
Yeah, it's like football. Don't just say, I'm just going to focus on grabbing the ball and scoring. You also need to focus on tackling. You also need to focus on defense, offense, field goals. You need to play every step of a game.
And there's not a blanket answer that's going to work for every situation, right? There's times where it's proper to withhold it. There's a time in France when we were towards the back of the pad, and Loden really asked me for a clue. And I was like, Loden, we're at the back of the pad. I can't. And at least I told her, right? I think not addressing it is even worse though. When you just like ignore the person, that just pisses them off, right? But if you like tell someone like, listen, like we are fighting for the end. I'm sorry, I can't. People understand that. But also there's time too where like, if it really is not going to affect the lead placement, just give them the information. I did that literally. I gave every team an answer in our season early in, but it's because we were in an airport. There was a 6-hour layover. Everyone was going to find that answer. So let me be the one that tells everyone the answer, because then everyone's going to be like, oh, James Earl's super awesome. He's super helpful. He helped us with that. So when I go and ask for help later, they'll tell me. Because they're going to find the answer either way. They have 6 hours. They will find it.
No, but they could also find the wrong answer. And then that one person who finds the wrong answer can take the whole group to the wrong place.
But you think all 10 teams aren't going to eventually talk?
Yes, but do you think that, okay, do you think that one of the teams, like smart teams, would find it and then say, hey, oh, look, this is the location, would tell Team Texas, and Team Texas would be like, oh, we got the location, this is it, and share it, and then everybody would just be like, oh, this is it, and just trust it? I think that would be a high chance of that.
I think we played 2 different social games.
You're definitely correct. I didn't care about social games.
And I think overall my social game was very successful for me.
Right.
So I'm just going to stick to
you got the express pass, so obviously it was the most successful from our season. It was the only thing that gained socially was that the express pass and not getting U-turned.
And we literally were fighting for last place, and a team told us, like, we will not U-turn you. And they should have. But I truly believe they would not have if they could have.
I mean, an express pass and not getting U-turned, those are huge things.
Yeah, those are social. Yeah.
Would not have U-turned me and Mom in India. Like if y'all hadn't used it, or Kelsey and Joey hadn't used it, they would not have U-turned us.
That's good. Well, it's interesting the way it was used. I'm glad it was used that way, kind of. But I didn't want them to go out that way. I wanted them to get beat. All right, so let's go to the detour. All dolled up. The detour is 1.4 miles. But no matter which one you went to, they were the exact same distance from the clue box. All dolled up, or the big picture. All dolled up. You had to basically make 2 dolls, marionettes, and so you had to make them from scratch. Watch the person do it. Make 2. One's a male, one's a female. Stuff the arms, sew it up, and then do the little dance, and you move on. Or the big picture, which I really loved. This is like a 3D picture, which you had to take pieces of and add it to the photo, and then you had to add yourself into the photo so that you could perfectly represent a smaller picture. So you had to look at the small picture and then fix everything and put it in the right place. I love this. I would have sucked at it, but I love that this was a task. But I don't think this was an even detour.
Oh, it 100% wasn't an even one. The dolls one was significantly easier.
I think
Mom and I would have gotten lucky. We would have chosen the dolls, because in my head, making 2 dolls rather than recreating a picture would have been easier. So I think we would have lucked into it. Because it's harder when you're actually doing the race, because you don't get a lot of information about the detours. Yeah. You have some vague idea of what it's going to entail, but as Phil's telling us the detour in the episode, we're seeing what they're making, we're seeing what they're going to be doing. When you're reading in person, you're getting a page of some minor details and a little short blip of X or Y. And it's just very different, because you never know what you're getting into until you show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's so we would have Diana would have wanted to do the dolls. I would have wanted to do the picture, but at this point I would have let Diana pick, and if she didn't pick, I would have chosen. So we would have probably
always pick anything more physical. I'll move 100 cinder blocks before I'll try to put together some little thing. I don't like the intricate
See, those seem like puzzles to me, and I could have done that all day long.
That's his strength. Yeah, I love hearing the words here. One thing that stood out for me. And spoiler alert, no, well, I won't spoil it. All right, love hearing the words. As soon as Garrett got to the challenge, choose a workstation that's right next to the demo. Said it out loud to his partner to make sure that they chose a workstation so they could be close to the demo and see it from where they are and not have to run back and forth and worry too much about remembering. They can look. And those are the little things that can really make a difference in these chats.
Yeah. Small moves, big wins.
Yeah. What were the small things that you noticed or that maybe helped you on the race at all?
I don't know. I think it was just like a lot of like basic stuff. If you take one quick breath, look around, and have like a quick strategy meeting, it can be very brief. We're talking a matter of seconds, even, as opposed to just someone just runs to a table and goes. Like, I think sometimes it can be really worth its weight in gold to have those brief, quick strategy meetings.
Yeah, just something to bring you back down for a second can really make a difference, just to change the whole mood. A lot of teams in our season could have used that.
I think preparation is a lot of what this is. You have so many seasons to watch now, and the challenges in general follow certain trends, right? So like come up with a plan of how we're going to tackle it when we didn't know, right? So Morgan and Lena, when they're doing the picture, for that type of challenge, I had plans for when we went in, and I did it with the meet in Argentina. In Argentina, when it's nuances, break it down one at a time. So with that one, if there's like 9 pieces that are correct, look at one, literally go take it off the board, take it up to the example, and just sit there and stare at it and compare it. And when you're sure that one's done, put that one up. You just have to break it down to its smallest components. That's how you do that. And that's what I did with the meet in Argentina. I knew it wasn't right.
When you can literally bring it to the one and compare it before getting judged, why not?
Yeah, so I did it one at a time until I knew it was right, and then I nailed it. So you like come up with plans for certain archetypes of challenges.
Speaking of challenges, when is the finale for the Buddy Games?
Thursday night, CBS.
All right, everybody get out there and support Amazing Race. Support our family. We need this. We need this win. Need this win so they bring more Amazing Races back on, and we could see more family getting some money, getting some cash. How do you feel about the sisters? Again.
Yeah, I feel like that really played into it for me. I was, the only person on the whole Buddy Games cast who's done a reality competition show before, and I know what it feels like to lose. And so that's when I got there to the lodge at Buddy Games. I was like, I'm here to win, and I don't care about feelings. I love people. I'm not mean. I'm not a bully, but I came here to win. And I feel like when you watch Buddy Games, it is clear as day that is what drove me. And
it's not your malicious personality or anything. This is your want to win. No. You're coming to play a game.
Yeah, and people there got frustrated with me. Some people on the internet right now either love or hate me and my team. But I'm like, I play. And the people that really appreciate the strategy of Amazing Racer, Survivor, Big Brother seem to like, we get it. Andrew's playing his little heart out. But it's people that don't watch those, like, this is Buddy Games, supposed about friendship and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's $200,000 on the line.
If people don't love you or hate you, they forget you.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, I will say, for people that haven't been on a show and don't know what it's not like to lose, imagine when you're playing Monopoly or you're playing a card game at Friday night and you lose and you're immediately pissed off, but then you forget about it because it's a card game and you walk away from the table. Take that feeling and stretch that out for any time someone mentions that TV show, you relive it, you think about it again. That feeling sticks with you from these TV shows. Just for a month, that's your entire life. You have no cell phone, you have no connection to the real world. That is literally all that you breathe, sleep, do for a month.
Yeah.
And those feelings persist. So take that feeling of like, I lost the game and you're angry about it. That fleets really quickly, and imagine that just staying forever.
There's no drug like that, like the Amazing Race.
It really is.
The Amazing Race is like a shot that into your brain of the happiest, best chemicals that it could produce, along with the saddest, like angriest, and it's
weird too, and I don't think we've ever mentioned on here. If you talk to a lot of racers, the few months after you come back from the race feel so strange.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like real world. Like you're stuck in that rut of like, it's so strange. Like adjusting to the real world after doing the race it's weird.
I'm sure after going in the jungle naked, it's weird. Jesus.
I was just about to say that. Buddy Games, yes, the same, not as much as race, but big time naked and afraid when I'm living out there for 21 days with no shoes, no nothing in the wild. Then you come back, shoes feel weird. It feels like you're walking on jelly. Like there's so many weird things. When you can pour water out of a faucet and just drink it, you like cry because you're like, man, this is amazing. I think water like a sink is the most incredible invention of all time. Never would have thought that until I didn't have one.
That's so funny. Yeah, you really don't appreciate it until it's gone. How do you feel about the sisters' rule of if you're spending 25 minutes at one part of a detour to switch?
That's a real quick timer.
That is a terrible
And also,
generic
a rule
rule.
isn't a rule if you don't follow it.
Yeah, it's a terrible generic rule. If you're gonna have a generic rule, it's switch immediately. Or if the detours are side by side or walkable, go and check both of them out before making a decision. You can have those type of rules. But saying I'm gonna wait 25 minutes, which this test they said they did for over 2 hours before they switched. 2 hours before you switch.
It's crazy.
Allegedly.
The 25-minute rule is just a stupid rule for a detour because detours in general take longer than 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So that rule itself is just a bad rule. I will accept that rule. What I think is dumb, and I'm gonna call them out for, is they didn't follow the rule.
Yeah. If you're gonna have a rule, follow it.
If you're gonna have a rule, then follow the rule. I think it's not a great rule, but I just think it's dumb to not follow the rule that you set.
It seems like a goofy rule you make up before you do the race, before you that should be such a case by case basis, not something you make up beforehand. I don't know.
But this is also leg 5 for them, so this isn't their first rodeo. I'm a little less forgiving as we get deeper into the race about stuff.
Well, she almost poked her sister's eye out with a needle.
So. That was just a stress moment. They were stressing.
She's like, yeah, get closer, you son of a bitch. All right, no. All right, let's get to some route markers. Teams must make their way to the Gator Kai to check in. First team's going to get $3,000 cash each. And we know that Steve and Anna Lee, once they got the lead on this leg, they did not give it up. They crushed every task they got to. But there were some cool things about the finishing here. The last 3 teams were all within minutes of each other. Some would say seconds. And teams 3 through 6 were all within minutes of each other as well. So 7 of the 10 teams were all within minutes of each other. So even though this leg did separate teams dramatically positioning wise, it still kept the leg close, like with 2 clumps.
I think this leg was a perfect leg. There's ways to overcome it because Rob and Corey, they were well behind every other team going into the detour, able to pick a smart detour, made some good choices, and able to pass by some other teams.
Yeah, that's
what you want in a lead design, right? You don't want a linear lead where it's really tough to overpass someone.
Yeah, that doesn't become fair to me. That when it's just a leg that you have no chance to just to use a skill or use a brain or use a talent to overtake another team. I think every leg should be designed with that in mind.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, and there was a lot of jumping as far as games, as far as like placement when we did the detour, and then again when we did the roadblocks. And then there was the finish line, which our finish line was awesome because there was a legit rickshaw race to the finish.
And it was. And this is that part where I say the race 10%, it's 90% skill, 10% luck. Morgan and Lena had the right rickshaw. That's why they've made some choices that got them to that position, but that rickshaw taking the other edge gave them that time. And that is the part that is so sucky because Todd and Ian, they didn't necessarily do anything wrong with the rickshaw. Now they could have made other choices prior. But that's that 10% luck that just sometimes sucks in the race.
Yeah.
We get one bad cab who doesn't actually know where he's going. You go from first to last in a heartbeat.
Well, see, the thing about this is the cab driver that they had. So we're talking about the foot race or the rickshaw race to the finale with Joe and Ian versus the sisters. The brothers are not brothers. The New York.
Oh, there's Todd and Ian. I'm sorry, Joe and Ian.
Joe and Ian, the engaged couple, versus Morgan and Lena, the sisters. Morgan and Lena. Joe and Ian's cab went the right way, but Morgan and Lena's took a shortcut. Like the correct way to go is go down the main street, and when you get to the next main street, make a left. But what their cab driver did is went down a side street, and then went down and then went back in and then cut out that big traffic light that they got caught at. So he was like street smart. So both of them did a good job, but one just did a great job and took the shortcut. And
the one thing
nothing you could do about that.
The one thing that I didn't love is Joe and Ian started a little swan song in the rickshaw. Fight till you're eliminated. Shit. In the Netherlands, like Mom and I were coming up with plans on that bus and be like, I'm gonna look left, you're gonna look right. We're just gonna whoever sees it first, grab the other person and just run, just pull and run. Like Mom and I were going to claw until we were eliminated.
I love that about you.
We did all the way into India. We were running until we came through that little shawl and we saw the other two teams, the cheerleaders and paparazzi, and that's when we knew and we're like, damn it. But until that moment, we were clawing. I
love that. And that's I got so much respect for you. Joe and Ian. So Joe and Ian's cab, they like are hyping the cab drivers up. And for I got a rant in a second for the idiots online who like get pissed off when the racers are yelling at cab drivers. Oh, okay, I'll get to you in a second. But they're hyping up their cab driver. You doing the hype moves. The cab driver's getting hyped up, getting into it. And they were going in behind them and then boom, dip fast, go around them, get into first place because they're hyping them up. Their cab driver's all in it, trying to get them into where they need to go. But you know, he just didn't take the shortcut. But they hyped him up, and he got excited and drove past Lena. And that could have been the difference between winning the leg and not winning the leg, just hyping up the cab driver.
I would argue that's social game.
Yeah. No, I agree
with other players.
Again, they did not do anything wrong in the rickshaw.
Yeah.
That was the 10% luck that just sucks. It sucks for them. Could they have made other choices earlier that could have prevented them from losing for a few minutes? Sure. Could they have noticed that things earlier? Sure. But that's that 10% luck of the race, right? Morden and Elena had that rickshaw driver that made the shortcut, and that it's better to be, I would prefer to be lucky than good, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, luck has won the race for a lot of teams, just as much as skill.
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish this off, and then we'll got some questions for Andrew about a couple of the shows, and then we'll pump his finale and make sure everybody shows some love. But let's get
Sharon Tanicki was asking how they film teams when the rickshaws. They have GoPros. Little spoiler alert: they have GoPros that they put in there that are just on you. So they have the rickshaw set up before you go there, and whenever you get to someplace, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know who it was. If it was Joe, or Ian. It was one of the two. Why does that happen to me? Is that you doing something, Justin?
No, it's not. That's your personal cam.
That's so weird. But at one point in time, you see him like poking his head out the window and being like, pass them.
Yeah.
I think he's talking to the rickshaw driver of the cameramen that are in front of them.
Yes. So there usually is one cameraman and a sound guy that are kind of in a rickshaw, kind of driving next to
watching you.
The clumps.
So I think that's who they were talking to. Yeah. But in your own rickshaw, there's a GoPro that's like pre-set up before you get into it.
And that's why they have like go to a predetermined blah, blah, blah. That's so they can set up these cameras and things like that for these predetermined legs. It's not just for other rules. All right. So we got Steve and Anna Lee coming in first place. So they finished sixth, first, second, first. But the problem that they have right now is Anna Lee 3 roadblocks to Steve's 1 roadblock. Which we know the problem that everybody's anticipating is he's going to be the one to blow it on a roadblock. And now you're backed up. It's almost forcing him to do roadblocks he's not going to be great at.
Yeah. And the longer I watched the race, the one thing that I wish Mom and I would have done differently is I wish we'd have let her done a lot of the roadblocks earlier. Because there's a lot more margin for error early than later. So if there's someone that's a little more confident in roadblocks than someone that's a little less confident, let the other person do them earlier. Because there's more margin for error. When you start getting down to 7, 6, 5, 4 teams, your margin for error is small.
Did you have
that was a rule that came after me. We didn't have that rule in season 3 or 4. I think that popped up after season 5. Don't quote me on this if I'm wrong, but I think it was Chip and Kim got a lot of flack because he did every single roadblock, I believe, and then the rule started.
It was like 10. I think 10 and 1. I think she did 1, and he did like 10. It was like some ridiculous number. That's like.
And after that rule started.
That's like with certain people.
I believe it was Chip and Kim. I think.
Like you could legit carry a team back then. That's why Zach and Flo worked, because Zach could carry a team because he could legit do every.
All of them. Yeah, exactly.
So it's crazy.
But for someone that's a little less confident, do them early.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So Greg and John, 3-3-8-8-2. Could they be back in it? Greg and John looking pretty strong. Joel and Garrett, 7-9-2-9-3. They're all over the damn place.
Most teams this season are all over the damn place.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Next is Philly Johns, 10-10-9-7-4. They got an upward trajectory, literally going up the whole race. The Philly Johns, could they win it? The most consistent team, 5-5-4-3-5. Todd and Ashley, they just stay right in the middle of the pack. That's why they get such a blank edit, because they're always in the middle. The only reason we know them is because there's 90-minute episodes. Otherwise, we'd have no idea who they are.
Fair. If we had 60-minute episodes, this team would be a mystery to us.
Robin Corey slipping 2-2-3-5-6. But this was their toughest leg, and they only finished 6th with the toughest roadblock. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we don't have to go through all of it. Yeah, and we know how and finished next week. U-turn votes. Everybody's worried about it, talking about it. This is going to be the thing that could make or break this whole season and how this plays out, I think.
I'm curious if it's 2 teams didn't U-turn or just 1. Because when they did this in season 31, it was 2 teams. It was Rachel and, oh my God, I'm blanking on our sister's name. Rachel and, who's Rachel's sister from Big Brother?
Elise?
Elise, thank you, goodness. Rachel and Elise with Colin and Christy. So I wonder if they're going to do 2 teams or if it's just 1 team didn't U-turn.
Ooh, how was U-turns? U-turns a thing for you in season 3?
Nope, didn't exist.
Didn't exist.
I wish they had.
Right? It was season 14. Margie and Luke's season was the first U-turn, I believe.
Yeah, well, we got this. We got Logan in chat, so he'll tell you.
Double check me on that, but I'm pretty sure because there's only 2 teams that have ever survived a single U-turn, and I think it was that season and our season.
Give me a CeeLo verse that I could use in chat there, Logan. All right. Joel and Garrett might puke pushing a bike, a cart, rickshaw thing. We got a stamp task with Robin getting stumped on it. U-turn votes. This could be a really cool leg coming up here. I think this could be what could make this a great season, how this U-turn vote plays out. And I hope it plays out well so they use it more, even though it doesn't benefit a team like me. But I think it benefits the show.
Oh, it 100% benefits the show.
Do you like the U-turn vote? I mean, you guys are both strategic players, so I guess you'd both like it, right?
I would have loved this. I would have eaten this shit out.
Me too.
Of course.
I would. Trust me. I would have lived for this shit.
Yeah, I would have hated it. All right, so would all female teams from the show, would Jen... Oh, she's not here. Okay, all female. Okay, not casted mother-son teams. All right, race brain. No, forget it. We already answered all that. All right, so
U-turn, Justin.
What's up?
Who do you think is getting a U-turn? Let's say it's 2 teams. Who do you think the 2 teams are getting U-turn?
2 teams are getting U-turn. If 2 teams are getting U-turn, it's going to be, I think, shit. I don't think. I know people don't like Robin and Chelsea, but I don't think they think they're strong enough. So I think Steve and Annalie are gonna get one of the U-turns because they're just so strong. As soon as Jocelyn and Victor fell off, Steve and Annalie said, "Oh, it's our race. My bad. We'll take this from here." They just grabbed the baton and they're out. So I think Steve and Annalie, if there's 1, it's gonna be them. If there's 2, it's gonna be Steve and Annalie, and
My mind loves this shit, Justin. I want to give you a little hint for if your season never happens.
Robin and Chelsea? I can't.
So, Justin, here's what you do. So, Steve and Annalie 100% are get U-turns. I need them to hopefully self-recognize this. And I'm telling you this information because I'm afraid this is going to be you. How this works out, though, is most of the teams I think are going to vote for, because it's a blind secret vote, right? So other teams aren't going to be able to know each other. I think most teams are going to vote for Steve and Annalie. So if you're Steve and Annalie, you need to vote for the weakest team that you absolutely know that you can beat. You don't need to try to get some other smart competitive to U-turn. Go and pitch some weak sauce that you know you can beat. So that's who they need to vote for. Because if it's 2 teams, I imagine most teams are going to vote for Steve and Annalie, mainly because it sounds like some of the background stuff, they're not the biggest fans of Annalie.
So would you could push people to vote for Robin and Chelsea, which is a team you know you can beat.
I don't think you're going to be able to push, though. So what I'm saying is I think every team gets 1 vote. Most top 2 teams win. I think most teams, why is this happening? I have like a ghost in my house. I think most teams are going to vote for them. So I think Steve and Annalie are going to decide who the other U-turn team is what I imagine plays out.
Are people wishing you happy birthday on Facebook? Because I think if somebody wishes you happy birthday on Facebook, because we're on some sort of Facebook group,
It's
maybe.
not my birthday.
I know it's not, but I don't know.
And it happened 2 weeks ago.
If somebody's playing a joke on you, wishing you happy birthday, and it pops up, I don't know. All right, so let's give Superfan move. I'm giving it to obviously Joel and Garrett because they recognized that they needed to be exactly next to the model. And they chose the closest one to it, and I think that always makes a difference in those tasks, especially the ones that take an hour long or longer than that. So definitely gets my superfan move, Joel and Garrett. What about you?
You want me?
Yeah, well, he doesn't have an award.
Seal clap is going to go to Annalie. Haters are going to hate. I think she is fierce, and I love her doing that roadblock and crushing it. So she's going to get my seal clap for the week.
Yeah, she did crush it. She's crushing literally every task she's given. So that's going to do it for this episode. So we'll see how next week plays out. Next week is going to be really, really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. But before that happens, tell us what's going down Thursday, Andrew.
Thursday, Buddy Games, brand new show, season finale, only 3 teams left. And Team Pride is my team. We hope to take it all home.
Now, I don't know, do you guys like monitoring hashtags? How can we support? Like watching it, hashtagging it, social media?
Yeah. I think hashtag Buddy Games is what most people are using. The official one, CBS, is hashtag Buddy Games CBS.
Right.
And anybody else out there, other Amazing Race fans, people watching Buddy Games.
Is it just Team Pride, or is it Team Pride something? Because I know there's probably a lot of Team Prides out there, like in general.
Oh yeah. Our hashtag's hard to find because Team Pride actually means something. Right. In the world, so that hashtag has a billion uses.
Yeah, it's like green team. We have to be the green team to stand up, because the green team there's like marijuana, there's like eco-friendly, there's so many but anyway.
Yeah, but everybody listening tonight, find me on Instagram, just Andrew Shayde.
Todd and Ashley, you're in chat. Sorry, I interrupt you so much, Andrew. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Hey, Todd and Ashley.
Oh, kitty purr.
But yeah,
Todd
find me on
Instagram. Props earlier about saying like get into the challenge and perform.
So we'll see you Thursday. Yeah, we'll sign out and then we'll give Todd and Ashley some love. So Thursday we'll give you some love, watching CBS, supporting you on social. Where can they find you and support you?
Hey, hop on Instagram. It's my favorite. That's where I get to connect with everybody. Andrew Shayde, Shayde.
Can you drop anything interesting coming up in your future? Because I'm sure this is more because of you're so well liked on this season and polarizing, whether you're liked or not liked. Because just as much as you're not liked, you're loved. So just focus on the love. But anything coming up that you can kind of tease us about?
I'm excited about 2024.
Naked and Afraid loves to have people back because they're like
Let's talk about that 50 G's he's about to get dropped into his account.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Get that money, and then you boom. You go back for Shark Week, Naked and Afraid Shark Week. It's probably the biggest week, right? You can go wrestle some sharks and get your nuts bit off.
Hey, I'll do all kinds of dumb shit for TV.
Todd and Ashley's in chat, Racers in chat. We always appreciate you, Lewis and Michelle. Make sure you check out Croqueta.chat. They always dropping bangers. Lewis has a fun time with power rankings. He's terrible at it. Like, he's not good at picking the teams, but it's fun to watch at least.
I want to go be part of their chat one day.
Why not? Jump in there. They do it at a weird time. It's like it's in the morning, so it's kind of tough for some people.
I'm weird hours anyway, so
yeah. Well, get in there, have some fun. Always check out Croqueta.chat. They're our friends. Todd and Ashley, thank you for supporting as well, and all of you who spent any of that time that you have with us. I know it's the most valuable thing that you have, and it truly means the world to spend any of it here with me, and we can go out and you guys could see some little young Andrew. Let's put him back up here, that little stud. Look him right there. Look at him. That stud of young Andrew. So thank you so much. It truly means the world to me. Those of you who are donating to the cause, thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't do it for the money. It does help, but I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love the race. I'm a super fan, and if I didn't run the race, I'd still want to do this. But I got to live my dream, and I just love talking about it. So, Andrew, thank you. Good luck to you. James
Thanks
Earl.
for me crash the party.
I appreciate you so much. So till
Appreciate you
next
too,
week.
Justin. Even though I like to give you shit, I appreciate you.
Of course, I wouldn't let you give me shit if I didn't think you respected me. He's like, I don't, honey. All right, later.